Hey everybody, Brandy here doing my comments for my Stampin' Studio today. Today I am going to do a tutorial on how to case someone else's card. So what we're going to learn today is how to make this card, this sort of layout, but for a different purpose. I'm not going to copy and steal everything. I'm actually going to be making a birthday card for a friend of mine who commissioned me to do her niece's 16th birthday. And I just learned how to do this card at my own demonstrators class a few weeks ago, and actually copied the design and used it for my latest birthday swap. And I wanted to do the sort of same layout, but not the same colors and not the same designer series paper for the 16th birthday card that I'm going to make. So stick with me. I will show you at the end of the video how you can get the dimensions and whatnot for the card that I'm going to make today. All right, let's get started. Okay. All right, so as I mentioned before, we're going to recreate this card. This card was made with the Picture Perfect designer series paper, and I love these little sequins here. That's the Tutti Frutti sequins with adhesive backing. So I wanted to make this sort of design for my card that I'm making for my friend Debbie. And I wanted to use the designer series paper that comes with the Sweet Soiree. It's called Sweet Soiree Specialty Designer Paper. Now, one thing I really love about Stampin' Up! Is that they color coordinate everything for you. And so in trying to figure out what colors I was going to use, I used the catalog to sort of help me. And the Sweet Soiree Specialty Designer Paper coordinates with all of these different colors. Now, I knew I wanted to use this pattern, and so based on the other card that I was trying to copy, I knew I needed something to kind of stand out. So this is using a black cardstock to kind of mat that paper. And I knew I needed kind of a contrasting color to back this. So I kind of looked over here and I looked at all the different options I had that will coordinate with this paper. And Marina Mist is the color that, the color that I decided to back that with. And so I think that looks really good. Now, when I was trying to figure out what the card's base should be, I had a choice between Calypso Coral or powdered pink. And so what I basically did was I kind of laid them out, and I've already got these pre-cut, and so I was looking down here and I decided, you know what, that Calypso Coral, even though it's supposed to coordinate, and I think that may be Calypso Coral on there on that, it just didn't really look good to me. So I scrapped that, and I decided to go with the powdered pink. And I think it really does blend a lot better. And that design on that designer series sort of just pops out from that. I think the Calypso Coral kind of took away from it. All right, so let me show you the rest of the products I'm going to be using to make this card today. One is, since it's a 16th birthday, I'm going to be using the number of years set. I'm not actually going to be using the stamp set, but I am going to be using the coordinating dies. Oops, I guess that would look like that for you. Yeah, so we're going to do 16 since it's her 16th birthday. I also used the designer series paper that has the cake on it, and I just basically fussy cut that out. I'm going to use that on the inside of the card. The other thing I used was the silver foil, and that's what I used my die cuts to cut the 16 out. And then I wanted to stamp the sentiment on this stitched circle, so I used the stitched framelits, and I used the second largest circle on that. The stamp set that I'm going to be using today is Picture Perfect Birthday, and specifically I'm going to use this stamp right here where it says happiest of birthdays to you, and inside I'm going to say, today we celebrate wonderful, wonderful, fabulous you. I've already got those mounted on my clear blocks. And then of course I'm going to be using some snail, although I may be using, no, I'm out of the fresh fast use. I really like that, but I'm out of it, so I have to wait for that to come in. And then I'm going to try, you know me with bows, I'm not really good at tying bows, but I'm going to try and incorporate the powdered pink shimmer ribbon on the card somehow. I'm also going to see if I can use my white accents, my white perfect accents. These are enamel dots. And I haven't gotten it out yet, but this is a good time to do so. I'm going to be using my silver embossing silver embossing powder with my Versamark. And inside, I'm actually going to stamp in the Marina Mist. So hopefully this is all going to come out good. And my friend is going to really like it. All right, so let's get started. I got kind of a dusty countertop, so I need to clean that off. Oh, also, I do have a video on how to store your embossing powder. And I'll shoot a little link. I'm not sure if it's going to stick up here or stick up here. But there'll be a little card for you to click on to see that video. All right, and then I think I may also use some dimensional dots. So I'm probably going to use some of the little ones to go on the back of the numbers and the bigger ones to go on the back of this sentiment. All right, so let's get started. I'm going to have a seat here, and hopefully you'll still be able to hear me. All right, so I'm going to put away the card base first. Let's clean off my surface real quick. All right, so the first thing I want to do is I want to adhere the designer series paper to the cardstock backing. And before I do that, I always check to make sure I have cut the right size. A lot of times, I'm really guilty of this, is I'll cut the paper and then I'll just start gluing it down and realize, oh crap, I cut the wrong size. So I always want to make sure that I've cut it. And this is my trick on how to try to get that lined up as best as possible. You know what? I need my glasses. I have a hard time seeing these days. And I'm just going to use my snail. I'm going to get to the closest to the edge as possible so then that paper doesn't come up. Now here's my trick. So I've kind of already eyeballed what it's going to look like as far as how much card is going to be showing behind that. And so I'm going to line up two sides there. That looks about right. And I'm just going to gently put it down. And then when I think it looks really good, I'm going to swoosh it down harder. Oftentimes, if I'm lazy and I just start pushing down, then I realize, oh, it's not centered. And so then it looks bad. And then I've either wasted nice, pretty designer series paper, or I just kind of have to make do. All right, so we're going to do the same thing with this guy. All right, that looks good. Oops. Helps to have steady fingers and good eyesight, which I have neither. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp my happy birthday here, happiest of birthdays here. I'm going to use my Versamark. And since this is a photopolymer stamp, I need something to put under it. And of course, I don't have that handy. Where did I put it? All right, I'm probably going to put it on pause here until I find it. So give me a second. Okay, sorry about that. All right, one rule of making videos is always have your supplies handy. Okay, so because it's photopolymer, I'm going to use my piercing mat to kind of give it a little bit more oomph. Help me get a clearer image. All right, so I'm going to stamp it with the Versamark. And hopefully you guys can see that. Yep. All right. And then I'm going to put it down straight. Now, one thing I should have used, it's too late to do that now, is the embossing buddy to help clean that surface off so my powder doesn't stick to everything. All right, so I just use a little coffee filter here to help catch everything. Okay, got my little spoon here. And so now I'm going to hold this out. I'm just going to put that over. Okay. Okay, I'm going to give it a good flick. right, now I also have another tool here that I like to use. I like to use a brush to help get some of the excess powder off. And it looks like I'm missing a little bit of powder right there, so I'm going to go over that again. Let me just... Alright, hopefully that'll work. Let's see here. Well, I think I've messed it up, so let's redo. That happens. No worries. All right, I'm going to take a little break here. I'm going to cut another piece of cardstock, and then I'll be right back. Okay. Yes, those things happen. No need to cry over it. So this time I'm going to try using my embossing buddy. Maybe that'll help me out. All right, so here's my stamp. Stamp it up. Gonna position it just so. All right, hold it there for a second. Make sure it's evenly pressed down. And then gently pull it back. Okay, put that out of the way. Bring in my coffee filter. Okay. All right, so let's do this again. Make sure I got it all everywhere. Maybe just a little bit more. That T. All right, that looks good. Okay, use my little brush here just to kind of clean it off, making sure to stay away from the stamped image. Okay. All right, so now let's put this away. All right, so now I'm going to heat emboss this. Oh, I can't see that far with my glasses on, so I gotta take those off. All right, let's try it again. There we go. I don't know if you can see that, but as the embossing powder heats up, it changes colors and it becomes reflective. You gotta kind of be careful because it can get really hot. And you don't want it to be too close to your fingers. All right, let's take a look at that. Beautiful. Perfect. Perfect. All right. Okay, so I'm going to set that aside. Now, let's put the card together. Oops, I did forget one thing. I'm going to stamp. Oh, got all kinds of embossing powder everywhere. Clean that off. Okay, so now I want to stamp the inside, and I'm going to get my piercing mat again. Now, this thing I always forget to do is to remember which direction the card's going to open. So the card's going to be this way. I need to stamp my sentiment in the landscape mode. All right, so this is what I'm going to use. Now, I plan to put this guy right here. And so I think I want to put this guy kind of off to the side there, and then my friend Debbie can write inside there. All right, so let's ink this guy up with my Marina Mist. That looks good. All right, so we're going to put her right here. Yay! All right, that looks nice. Okay, since this is on the inside of the card, I don't think I'm going to put this on a dimensional dot, but because it's kind of heavy cardstock, I do want to use my my mono glue, my Tombow glue. And let me just kind of set this to the side for a second. Go ahead and glue this guy up. Ooh, that's too much. All right. So I'm going to put this guy right here. And then I'm going to place a block on it to help it glue down. So I'm going to push that out of the way. Okay. All right. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to assemble the card. All right. So I've already scored this. So all I got to do is fold it in half. I'm going to use my bone folder to give us a nice crisp line. A little tip about folding these in half and not getting them all cockeyed is to fold them in half and start from the middle and work your way in either direction. If you fold it and then fold it all the way down this way, you're liable to get it cockeyed. So, all right, so now we want to put these together. All right, so the idea is to put this guy here, and this guy here. So kind of just eyeball it first, make sure I know where I want it, because once I put it down, it's going to be hard to put up. All right, now, because this is multi-layer hard or thick cardstock and designer paper, I don't want to use the snail because it's liable to come off. And I would probably use fast fuse, but unfortunately I'm out of it. So I'm going to use my mono glue. All right, so I just kind of get this guy going. You don't need a lot, but you do want to try to get it as close to the edge as possible, but not too close because it'll squish out once you press down. And although it does dry clear, sometimes it can leave a little smudge mark. Come on. Looks like it might be time for me to buy some more glue. All right, here we go. There, that looks nice. Okay. This guy I want to put up on dimensional dots. I'm going to use the bigger one. Oh, before I do that, no, yes, let's do the enamel dots. Hold on. I haven't opened this guy yet. And I think I want to use some of the smaller sizes. So I'm going to pull this off. Put him right there. Oh, that's pretty. And then I'm going to put this guy right here. That looks good. Maybe one more. We'll put one right here. Yay. Okay. That looks pretty. Okay, so let's put my dimensional dots here. There we go. Kind of flatten that guy out. Okay. I'm going to position him. Well, before I do that, let's figure out where the 16 needs to go. Okay, so I want to get her right there. Why did I call it a her? I don't know. And then that guy will go right there. All right, that looks good. So we're going to put him down. Nice. All right, now I'm going to use the smaller dimensional dots on the numbers so we don't see the dots from the front. backing off. And I think I got a little bit showing there, so I'm going to trim that off with my snips. Just trim off that corner of that dimensional dot because I don't really want that showing. There, that's better. All right, so let's remove the backing on that. Okay, all right, so let's lay these guys down. Okay, let's see, I'm just going to kind of briefly put it there, make sure I've got it spaced right, maybe down just a little bit. There. Yeah, that looks pretty. All right, now let's see about that ribbon. I'm going to attempt to do a bow. All right, so what I do is I try not to cut the ribbon off while I'm making the bow because I like to conserve as much as I can. And I'm going to attempt to do this. All right, so how I make the bows, we'll see how it comes out, is I make 2 rabbit ears like this, and then I cross them in back, and then I pull through. No, it's too much. Come on. If you guys watch my videos, you know why I like the knot bow better, because it's so much easier to do. All right, let's see if we can pull this tight. See how this looks. Come on. Okay, this bow's too big. All right, let's see. Pull it tight. Pull it tight. Pull this guy in. Okay. That doesn't look too bad. Alright, so I've wasted all of that, but that's okay. Alright, so I'm going to trim that first. Pull a bit more. Try to get it a little bit smaller. Oops, maybe too much. You just kind of have to fuss with it. Okay, now this side's too small. Okay. All right, so I think I've gotten that. Let me cut this side. All right, now I can figure out how big I want those tails and where am I going to put it? Should we put it here? Okay. I think we should put it there. I think we should put it there. Okay, let me cut these a little bit smaller. Debbie better appreciate this bow. Oh, all right. That even? No, not quite. Okay. All right, so we're going to put that guy right there. Yeah. All right, so to put that there, I'm going to use some glue dots. And that looks like kind of a, oops, I just dropped everything. So I'm going to take my glue dot. Oops. Wow. I'm just all over the place today. I'm going to press down on it, and it gets put on the ribbon. I'm going to put a couple because that's kind of a thick knot right there, and I don't want this falling off. So we're going to put it right there. Ta-da! All right. I think think that looks cute. Cute 16-year-old card. And then this guy's going to go on the inside. Yes, that looks fabulous. All right, I'm going to use snail for this guy. Oops, let me help if I opened it. Okay. Oops, shoot. Okay, I'm going to line up. Let me see if you can see this. I'm going to line up the bottom where I think it needs to be. There we go. That looks good. All right. What do you guys think? It's cute, isn't it? I think it's cute. All right. All right, everybody, as promised, I was going to share with you how you can get the dimensions and the products that I used here on this card. Down below in the comment section, I'm going to list out all of the products that I used today, as well as give you a link on where you can go to actually download the PDF that will have all the dimensions on there and the how-to on how to make this card. So please do check that out. And also, if you liked this video, please do me a favor and like the video. Hit the subscribe button, and also, actually, I think it's over there. Hit the subscribe button, and next to the subscribe button is the little bell. Click the bell, and every time I upload a video, you'll get notified. Also, if you wouldn't mind, comment down below if you liked the video or if you've got any other suggestions on cards that you'd like to see in the future, or tutorials or how-tos or any of those kinds of things. Your comments help me build my videos, so I really do appreciate everything that you do. All right, life happens, I comment. Stamp me some love.